Yeah, I'm afraid it might be regular. I don't want to take a chance. He says it's psychosomatic. It is. I know.
Guys at the other end. California Railroad.
Yeah, we actually, we're going to be celebrating our 15th anniversary January 1st. We incorporated in 1995, January 1st, and we've come a long way. We were actually, Marty, you're going to, might want to help me along here. Okay. We were, actually our parent organization was the Sacramento Valley Historical Railways. They're based in Woodland, and they really came together. We started out with 14 members. We paid $20 a piece to get the organization started. Sacramento Valley Historical Railways is still in existence in Woodland. We actually started working on it in 1993 with the FEDSHRA. So it took a couple of years to get that going. But before that, we had the annual Folsom Handcar Derby, which we organized in 1991 as a fundraiser to rebuild the turntable you see out here. And if it had depended on us, it would have never gotten built. We could barely pay our own bills, but we still do the race every year. This was our 18th year, this last May. We're shooting for 19 next year. The city applied for a federal grant, and that's how the turntable actually got built. So support from the city and what we were trying to do to begin with, it happened. And that was one of our goals. We have goals yet, which you'll see. You've seen our mission statement. There's so much to do, and I'd like to see the number of new members just this year here in this room. Right there, yeah. Bo's been around. Marty, can you update, or can you have the additions to how we started? Marty was actually our first treasurer. And that's where the money went. Randy Hayes is not here tonight. He was one of the three of us who actually were the first members of the organization. And Larry, I'd like to have step up and give us a little information on what's happened in the past few weeks.
Eric Rolls was the one that suggested we do a little history of where we came from, so thank you, Eric. And I would like those that are founding members from that original period, if you could stand up so we can recognize you, Bill. Marty?
Well, then you just stand up, stand up.
These are officially the old part.
Old, I don't know about the rest of them. Yeah, this is the foundation of the group. You guys are the foundation of so much. We're going to talk about how where we have come and where we are with the Excursion Railroad. In 1998, Bill told us that they had learned that the JPA would entertain a business plan and that we could use the track. And my understanding was, Dick was explaining to me, all they wanted to do was take a car out, have a few rides once in a while, entertain a few people, have a small trolley. And the JPA said, come up with a business plan. So the thing started to escalate at that point. So somehow I got elected to do that, and my involvement in the FEDS began. 1999 was the first turntable in the West restoration. 2000, El Dorado County produced their first environmental impact report on the railroad. In 2003, El Dorado County published a master plan for the railroad. During this period, we were trying to promote the concept with whomever would listen, and we didn't really know who should be listening. So we were doing it opportunistically. Bill would make arrangements with agencies and different people, and we'd go and we'd give them a little dog and pony show about our vision. And Bill got us, in 2007, he arranged for us to get on the agenda of the Transportation Planning Commission meeting of El Dorado County, and sitting in chair of that meeting was a person named Jack Sweeney. After our presentation, came up to us afterwards and said, "I'd like to talk to you." And Mr. Sweeney is the individual who in 1991 started lobbying to acquire the JPA, what is now the JPA right-of-way, from the Southern Pacific, and he personally garnered the interest of El Dorado County, Sacramento County, City of Folsom, and the Regional Transit to put up the money for it. And to hear the story, they weren't willing participants. Nonetheless, he did it. He also did one other thing, which was to take it under the rail banking regulations, which is a subsection of the Rails to Trail Act, which in rail banking, I think most of you know, keeps the property perpetually as a railroad. If it ever gets disturbed from being a railroad, it has to be restored, able to be restored as a railroad. Same properties, same operating characteristics, everything. And that is one of the fundamental things that we are able to trade on. Following that, we met with Jack Sweeney. We went out to breakfast, Bill and I, and we suggested to him a franchise that we'd be willing to take a franchise agreement. And he goes, "Oh, I didn't know how that worked." And he went back to the JPA Commission and then JPA staff and made a suggestion. And in 2008, the JPA decided that it had to do a public proposal process. They had to put this excursion rail out to a public bidding process. We're not convinced it wasn't another hurdle for us to step over, or it was a legitimate requirement. They asked us in front of all of the member agencies whether we would like to participate in such a proposal process, and we nodded our heads thinking, no problem. They got two legitimate proposals, and they accepted ours. We submitted our proposal in June of 2008. In August 2008, the JPA formally awarded the right to negotiate for excursion contract, which they're calling a lease. We asked for a letter of intent prior to the lease so that we would have a legitimacy to go do what we need to do with a number of different organizations, some of them financial. And we signed a letter of intent to proceed with negotiating a lease in October 2008. I jumped ahead. In August of 2008, we incorporated the Placerville and Sacramento Valley Railroad to accept all the liability that comes with operating a railroad and keeping the FEDS out of any sort of liability. And since that time, we have been working towards a lease. And currently, as a matter of fact, today we met with the JPA staff on our progress. We have a PUC application for White Rock Road in progress. We have track restoration for, there's a washout at milepost 123 that we will be restoring. We told them we would like to do that in January, months from now. And I've got some submittals to make, but we believe that's doable. We are beginning the formalities of setting up operating rules. Mark Spellman is leading a group of you folks, and with that will be the training for certification for operators and track folks. And we're beginning to draft agreements that we're going to need for acquiring rolling stock and between the railroad and the feds. So that's it generally. One thing that's probably important and maybe something of a question is when are we going to roll the first wheel with patrons on it? And we have a number of certifications to deal with. We have a number of pieces of rolling stock to acquire. We're going to have bridge inspections this coming Friday and Saturday, so we'll probably have some repair work to do on bridges. And we have all of these procedural things that we have to set up and ring out. So I took a look at what we had to do, both procedurally, administratively, regulatory-wise, and setting up financing. I told JPA today that we would run the first train 2 years from today. So, wow. It's a little bit longer than what I had said before, but I think it's reasonable. And the JPA's reaction is, we think you need the time, and we're glad for it. So, and they were willing to give it to us. So, are there any questions? Mark?
Can we start sooner?
We have no incentive to delay. Cash is going out the door, energy's going, being built, expectations are being built. We have a lot of reasons to want to start as soon as we can.
I thought June or July was too soon, but 2 years is too long. Thank you.
As far as improvements on the line and things of that sort, what individuals may be involved in that as opposed to what individuals have to be involved as far as certification, as far as work groups, as far as government being involved, as opposed to volunteers? In other words, will feds be able to be involved in this?
Absolutely. The feds are the founding organization. The way the vision is now, and keep in mind too that this railroad is inventing itself as it goes along. Every excursion rail, if you look around, has tremendous advantages over us in terms of funding, badging, and so forth. We are doing an awful lot of things without any money starting from scratch. To answer your question, the feds will be the volunteer organization for everything that has to do with volunteers. The railroad will do everything that is required for certification. So my general answer is the feds can do just about anything they want, and there will be exceptions. Rather than the feds will be, I think the question was, will the feds be excluded? And it's more the other way around, is the feds are going to be able to do as much as they can handle, and there's going to be some exceptions. The line's drawn for regulatory purposes and insurance purposes, where a piece of rolling stock goes out of repair, goes into service, has to be certified by somebody that's qualified. The insurance has to be able to cover it, which means it has to be, that person doing the certification has to be an employee. So, and so anybody that has a safety function has to be an employee of the railroad. And anybody that, the feds can do work, track repair, construction work, work on vehicles, just has to be certified by the railroad. So it's an inspection of the feds. And some stuff, repairs will just work together, and it'll be under the supervision of a qualified person.
And a quick follow-up, is there any truth to the rumor that the railroad is going to be named the B&O Railroad?
I think what P&O stands for. On the naming, I'd like to give you my perspective on the naming. We have incorporated as Placerville and Sacramento Valley Railroad. Our marketing draw, our legacy that is who we are and what we want to market is the original Sacramento Valley Railroad. And so we were, and I don't have control of the whole lot outside of being able to be a spokesman a bit, but I would like us to be coming out of the legacy and cultures that surround the people that so influenced the region, formation of the state, and I think you're going to be surprised when we start putting the historical program together. This railroad influenced the nation significantly, and it's a wonderful story. It's worth telling, and I think that it's got a life way beyond our little region. I think it's an international story, and this is where it all started. Thank you, each of you, for your tremendous efforts.
In 1865, 1864, had no rolling stock of its own. They borrowed the equipment from the Sacramento Valley Railroad. So it kind of, in maybe deja vu, I don't know. But we have the equipment. P&SVRR doesn't have that yet, so it's kind of interesting on that part. Just to clarify too, that the Joint Powers Authority consists of 4 entities: Sacramento County, El Dorado County, the City of Folsom, and Regional Transit. Well, Regional Transit has built their gold line to Folsom. So right now we're dealing with the other 3, City of Folsom, Sacramento County, and El Dorado County. So you have 3 entities, separate, but so you've got to make contact with all these people, all these groups. We've made great progress in El Dorado County, and some of the issues, and I think Bo was kind of getting to that on some of the work there. Would we be able to do some of the work there without going through the whole 3 entities? El Dorado County could make the proposal. We can make the proposal to El Dorado County, and that work can be done separately from the other 2. They have to be in contact, but yes, the work can be done through El Dorado County for that portion. Yeah. And I want to mention too that we have some real supporters in Motor Car Operators West who are qualified to do much of the labor that can be done along with us. So we really have a crew combined to do a lot of work. So,
Perfect, thanks.
yeah.
We were out on the line preparing for the spray truck to come through. And one of our workers walked off and left his shovel laying along the track. We went out Thursday with the spray truck, and here's Bo's shovel.
My grandfather always told me you can move more shit with a shovel than you can with a spoon. Thank you very much for returning my shovel.
I want to say how great it is to see everyone tonight. You might say this is the beginning of our so-called Placerville and Sacramento Valley Railroad Auxiliary. Yeah. Until we come up with a better name. But Diane and I had a lot of fun preparing for tonight, but we couldn't do it without our husbands. And so Don and Frank were running around and doing all the necessity work, you know, so we do thank you. We're here to support all of you fellas. $5 in it, so what we took in tonight will go into that. Yeah, we're on our way to Red Hawk.
Hey, take the train.
Yeah. But anyway, this is the only way that we knew how to earn, to make some money for tonight. So we want to thank Catherine, for doing most of the raffle prizes tonight. And Catherine, you've been watching, and we thank you very much for what you do. So we're going, is it time for us to have a raffle now? Yeah. Who hasn't bought a raffle ticket? There are 6 for $5 or $1 each. Dig down into your. Anybody else? No?
Right, now should I film it or take pictures? No.